Yeah. Hey, everybody. Have you ever thought about moving to Japan and being Dogen or something? I don't know. This video popped up in my feed a while ago called The Psychology of the Disillusioned Foreigner in Japan by Dogen. And it's got over 450,000 views. And yeah, so I'm curious. I haven't checked it out yet. So let's go see how it is. I'm a little coffee today. But yeah, like always, guys, if you like these videos and you want to see more, show me you like it by smashing that like button, leaving a comment, and yeah, showing me what kind of videos you want to see or what you liked about this video. And don't forget, we have a bunch of reactions in a playlist. That's always going to be the top comment of these videos. And without further ado, let's get into this. Boom. Okay. Let's
Let me
see
guess.
this.
You still think you have time? This is a line from a character in the manga Oyasumi Pum Pum. To set the stage, the main character is around 20 years old and the victim of terrible circumstances. Because of the dark events in his past, he ends up sort of taking a back seat in society. He spends his time either alone, shut up in his apartment, or relying on the comfort of this older girl that he works on and off with. It's natural behavior given his past, but it also doesn't change the fact that his lack of initiative is only making his situation worse. And one day, he runs into the ex-husband of this older girl he works with, and the ex-husband calls him out on his behavior. He says, "Let me guess, you still think you have plenty of time and choices. Hate to break it to you, but you're already too late. Even if you were to start sprinting now, you'll never catch up to the people."
What is that? もしかしてまだたっぷり時間と選択肢が残ってると思ってる？残念ながらもう手遅れだよ。What? Okay, yeah.
People who have been running since their teens. It's a cold thing for the man to say, but there's truth to it. And in today's video, the second episode of the Japan Trap miniseries, I'd like to talk about an element of that truth. Not about earthquakes or cultural misunderstandings, but how a sequence of seemingly inconsequential decisions can lead to a backseat life in Japan.
A backseat life
Many
in
foreigners
Japan.
who come to Japan follow the same trajectory that I did. They get a taste of Japan during their early teens, be it through anime, J-pop, or martial arts, and quickly become infatuated with the country's unique culture. Among these people, many feel out of place in their own culture. This was me. However, and this is a critical point that took me a long time to get to, but I now think this feeling is almost entirely a fabrication. I think when I was 14 years old, covered in acne, had braces and headgear, and I wasn't
Nice stock
particularly good
footage.
at anything, and I wanted to talk to girls, but I didn't know how to. I think I needed a story to tell myself. I think I needed a way to contextualize my confusion and a light at the end of the tunnel. So I adopted a worldview based on the one thing I knew I loved that provided these things. A worldview that said, you feel this way because you belong somewhere else. When you're at school, trying to fit in, you feel tense and anxious. But when you're at home, alone, listening to J-pop or watching anime, you feel safe and assured. This isn't a coincidence. It's because you belong where these things come from. The place where everyone loves Utada Hikaru and watches Naruto and plays Final Fantasy, and there's no garbage on the streets or any homeless people, and the trains go 250 miles an hour. And foreigners are considered special. For an insecure 14-year-old, that's more than a light at the end of the tunnel. It's a winning lottery ticket you just have to wait to cash in. So I took that ticket and I held on to it for dear life. And I never let anyone tell me that maybe I was misplacing my emotions. That perhaps one of the reasons I felt out of place in my own society was because I just didn't know how to navigate puberty. That maybe I could be so infatuated with Japan because I wasn't experiencing any of its downsides. That maybe the numbers on my lottery ticket weren't the winning combination I insisted they were. A few years after adopting this mindset, I learned about the JET program, how I could move to Japan as an English teacher. And a few years later, I started university, taking business and Japanese classes. I took these business classes because many people told me business was a safe bet, that it would look great on my resume. But as the business classes became more and more challenging, I couldn't help but think to myself, why am I taking these if my goal is to move to Japan and the JET program doesn't require them? So I stopped. I changed my major from business to Japanese. And while my friends in business and STEM spent their days bent over their desks pulling their hair out, I spent my new free time doing martial arts tricking in the courtyard, watching anime, and breezing through the classes I had chosen specifically for their easy reputations.
Yeah.
I did this. I made my second mistake in choosing the path of least resistance because of my first mistake. Because I told myself I already had a winning lottery ticket, that I could afford to spend my university years tricking and binge watching Hajime no Ippo, because once I got to Japan, the country I belonged, well, then things would naturally fall into place. I'd meet a cute girl anxious to date a foreign guy and seal the deal with my unique acrobatic skills. I'd get a job at Square Enix because of my passion for their games, and I could spend my weekends listening to J-pop and reading manga without ever being laughed at or judged.
That sounds pretty
My third
badass to
mistake
me.
is one I was fortunate enough to make during my Japan test run, during study abroad. By the time I finally left for Japan, I had been fantasizing about it for close to 6 years. So once I got there, it was off to the races. In the first week, I went to Shibuya, Shinjuku, Harajuku, Yoyogi, Marunouchi, Kamakura, and Akihabara. Before long, I was visiting real dojos and seeing the bands I had listened to all throughout my teens. I met a girl, and we went on dates in Yokohama, Ueno, and Roppongi. I rode the bullet train to visit my cousin in Kobe.
I know that like Dogen is a Japanese teacher and everything, but like I don't know, man. Like for me, like I like the Kyoto, not Kyoto, karaoke, not karaoke, or like Tokyo versus like Tokyo. Like motherfucker, like dude, like you don't need to flex to foreigners, man. Like I get it. You're a Japanese Japanese teacher, but like this is like a big difference between me and Dogen is that like I don't feel like it's like just because I know the difference doesn't mean like I need to point it out, but he likes doing that in his videos. It's always kind of annoying to me.
And together we went to USJ in Osaka and Kyoto. I was having the time of my life, but one day, a little bit more than halfway through study abroad, the inevitable happened. I ran out of money, and suddenly my life in Japan looked very different. I had to get a job, so I got a paid internship at a headhunting firm. And I started going straight from my classes in Kamachi to an office in Yotsuya, where I would spend my afternoon cold calling Japanese salarymen who would often yell at me for interrupting their work and demand to know how I got their number. Then I would take the packed train back to my dorm, do my homework, and crash. A few months into the internship, the relationship I had with my girlfriend felt like it was changing as well. Now, this was probably my fault because I had become more irritable because of the stress from this sudden change in my lifestyle. And my girlfriend, who was a year older than me, well, she was busy doing Japanese job hunting, which is extremely intensive. So she had her own stress to deal with. And we were fighting against not only time, the knowledge I had to go back home soon, but this new dynamic in our relationship that we hadn't prepared for. You see, she was a smart, attractive girl at a prestigious university. And she was now slowly getting surrounded by men who had been running since their teens. Guys who were getting job offers from PricewaterhouseCoopers, Google, and Goldman Sachs. I, on the other hand, had become a broke study abroad student whose big plan was to become an English teaching assistant. So she was entitled to a conversation about my ambition. But that was a conversation I wasn't ready to have. So every time it started to come up, I would shrug it off and pivot to how much I missed martial arts tricking. And I remember thinking to myself on the train to work one day, how did this happen? How did life in Japan turn into this? Trying to grab a tuna rice ball on the way to my call center job while I'm getting an email from my girlfriend about her classmate who just got a job offer from Morgan Stanley. We've all heard the expression honey.
Okay, dude, like, I kind of get where this video's going. He's saying, like, don't put your life on autopilot, right? Like don't put your life on autopilot and be a bitch and overstress yourself out. But I really don't like these I know where he's going with this. And he's saying, like, stop being like a lazy dude. You need to be hyper-focused and stress from the beginning. And you got to remember that people do care about status and, like your job security, your job status. And, like, Dogen, like, you graduated from, like, Keio University. It's like a top level university. Even if you did underwater basket weaving at that university, you're still gonna have that on your resume, dude. And like Dogen fucking like he spoke Japanese fluently before he even graduated. Like Dogen is a smart guy, man. Like I don't know where he's go. Like I mean, it makes it sound like he was a loser, but he was not, man. Like he was fucking writing blog posts completely fluent in Japanese before even I could do it. You know, like this guy. I don't know. It's like, and I was a call center guy. You could have easily been an English teacher making 3 times that much, like as a part-time student, but you chose to do the hard way. You chose to be over stressful. You chose to have a girlfriend that cares more about your social status than how you guys are as a couple. She respected your job more than she respected you. What does that say about you and your life choices, man? Like I'm getting offended here because it's like this is like blue pill versus red pill shit, you know? And I thought Dogen was more red pilly, but I don't know. Let's keep watching.
Honeymoon phase in the context of Japan. How, if you're interested in Japan, the first few months or even years that you're here, you'll be on cloud 9. But how the novelty of those initial experiences that felt like magic, whether that's walking through Tokyo or going to an izakaya or riding the trains, how that will wear off, and slowly but surely, the more negative aspects of Japan will catch up to you, leading to a crash. But I think there's something more to the honeymoon phase, something more pernicious. And this is the unearned entitlement that I mentioned in the intro. And it's intrinsically linked to the mindset and the path of least resistance I outlined earlier. When you're a weeb, when you've spent so long dreaming about life in Japan, when you've suffered because of your passion for it, chosen as most culturally confused individual in your high school yearbook, then you can feel entitled to a certain lifestyle once you're here. You can end up thinking to yourself, I waited so long for this. I've been through so much to get here that now it's okay for me to have some fun. I'll show the haters back home by having my best life in Japan. But crane games, karaoke, and dates in Odaiba, that magical life in Japan, it has to be earned. It can't be paid off through past suffering or passion for Utada Hikaru or Naruto or disdain for your own culture for that matter. And for me, this realization was the true crash. Not waking up to the fact that Japan has its own unique problems, but that I had dug myself into a hole in Japan that was going to take years to get out of.
What the hell is he talking about?
Itself, but how you choose to react to it that will make or break the rest of your life in Japan. Because the crash is a reality check. It's a catalyst that allows you to zoom out and see that you were viewing Japan through rose-colored glasses, both before and after you came. That there was truth to your parents' and friends' warnings when they said, right, but maybe don't let this Japan thing go to your head. That ironically, the non-weebs who got those business and STEM degrees and just happened to get transferred here are now in a better position to enjoy Japan than you. Someone who spent their whole life fantasizing about it. Worst of all, it feels like betrayal.
Okay, shut the fuck up. Those guys who didn't care about Japan, now they're working in Japan and they're getting more money than you. Okay, so money and status is important to you? Is that what you're saying? You're saying that you can't possibly come to Japan and learn new skills? You can't possibly come here and decide what you want to do? Like once you get here and you're done with that, like everyone goes through the honeymoon phase and then they go through the poison I hate Japan phase. I went through it, you know, like I remember I was pissed off when I was trying to get, like, I had a good job, I had permanent residency, I found an apartment that I really liked, and I had a salary and I had a good job, like I had a good salaryman job, and I was working at a company that had a lot of prestige to it, and this fucking real estate company said, yeah, well, you can't get it because you're a foreigner. And I'm like, I speak Japanese, I know how to separate the trash, I have a good guarantor. What the fuck, Japan? But at some point you realize, like, it's not the issue, man. Like, you don't want to give your money to racist people, even if it's a better apartment. Like, why would you want to give money to that, you know? And it's like, I get what he's saying. He's saying that if you come over here with better skills, you can have more options. But he's going on, this is very blue-pilled. Like, blue-pilled people are the ones that are like, well, this teacher knows everything, because they're a teacher from an acclaimed university who the very prestigious. Isn't Harvard like the place that got called out for having like 3 of its fucking top like whatever people in the school, they plagiarized their dissertations or whatever? Like everything is false. It's all reality. It's all bullshit, dude. Like like people are smart because they judge what they see in front of them, you know? They trust their gut. And being like, I wanted to come to Japan, but I was such a weeb, and that I came here with rose-tinted glasses. Dude, you, like, married your first girlfriend here, man. Like, you've talked about it on your live stream. Like, you married one of your first girlfriends here. You didn't date around a lot. You were a jet. And before you... and I forgot what he was doing after he was a jet. But he's been making... I don't know about now, but he was making easily... like 5 to 10 grand a month from his YouTube videos and Patreon for years, you know? He bought a house and everything. Like, he has a very comfortable existence. So, like, talking about, like, I don't know, maybe he's talking about those guys who whine on Reddit or something, but, like, he's not talking from personal experience here. You know, it's like apples and oranges kind of thing. He was not a regular dude coming to Japan. Too much focus on comparing himself with the with the projected other. And too much anger at the other people making it in life, as if he wanted others to fail and he wanted them to say, yeah, it's like that Chinese quote where it's like, it is not just for me to win. It is also important that others fail as well. And let's keep going.
It feels like the light at the end of the tunnel. Japan, your best friend since middle school, has turned its back on you. It feels like you're being retroactively punished for being that confused kid who was just looking for something to confide in, something to believe in. It makes you want to yell, well, of course I didn't listen. I was 14. I didn't know it was going to lead to this. It goes without saying, but in that moment, it takes a tremendous amount of fortitude to say, this is my fault. But if you can do it, you can get back on the road. You'll still be behind, but now you'll be able to check your blind spots. You'll be able to adjust, to change lanes, and through hard work, slowly accelerate to a pace where you can enjoy life in Japan. But if you don't admit it, if you blame the crash on the car or the road or the drivers around you, you won't be able to course correct. And sooner than later, you'll crash again. And then again and again. This is the psychology of the disillusioned foreigner. This is why so many people who love Japan in their youth end up resentful here. Because it's easier to blame an amorphous Japan on your problems than it is to take responsibility for mistakes that didn't feel like mistakes at the time. And if your problems are all Japan's fault, if they're completely beyond your control, then there's only one thing left to do. Complain. I'm making this video because
what did he say?
There's only one thing left to do. Complain. I'm making this video because I see what I went through and I see other people going through the same thing. I see this as a pattern that's predictable and therefore preventable. I imagine there are 14-year-olds watching this video. Weebs who just finished listening to the first take and are enjoying a new Dogen video in the comfort and security of their anime poster-covered rooms. Now, I'm not here to tell you that you're wrong and your parents are right, and that you need to stop watching One Piece and get an accounting degree. I didn't do those things, and I have a good life in Japan. But I had to earn it. After study abroad...
You had to earn it? The TLDR, don't be weeps, guys, yeah. I mean, like, he's talking about, like, come on, Dogen, just come out and say it. You're talking about, like, alcoholic 40-year-old, like, overweight Western guys who are, like, alcoholics that never learned Japanese, that, like, are still on their, like, 1-year humanities visas that are complaining about Japan. Like, just say it. You're talking about every fucking guy who's on Reddit, you know, who's on like a Reddit thing complaining about Japan. Yeah, so like what he says you need to earn it. So like I wonder if he's going to give specific examples about how to quote unquote earn it. Cuz like my way of earning it is like, look, come here, learn Japanese either before you come here or after you come here, and then, you know, figure out what kind of job you want to do. And the way you figure that out is, do you want to be around people or do you not want to be around people? If you want to be around people, you get some kind of job where you're around people. You got to figure out, like, you know, like if you want to be in an office, do you want to be walking around? If you figure out more about like what kind of like environment do you want to work in, and what kind of money you're like happy with. Like people like Dogen, they've got expensive taste, man. Like I've seen his house tour video. That shit was not cheap at all, man. He's got custom everything. Like for me, like I'm like, look, I just want to live in the red light district of Tokyo, have a good kitchen, have a good bathroom, have a big enough bedroom, and like, you know, like a balcony that looks out on stuff, and like I just want to be like, you know, it's like I don't want, you know, like that's, I'm not a very complicated guy, you know, and it's like as long as I make enough money to sustain myself as well as like make some savings on the side, like I'm good, you know. But it's like I don't know, I feel like Dogen are the kind of people that are complaining about, like, you know, the tariffs and stuff right now, being like, oh man, my stocks are going down. I'm like, you have stocks? I don't have stocks. You know, it's like I don't know. It just seems like you know you're way further in the game than me, and you're talking to, I don't know. I mean, like I get it, but like the thing is that those people, like you said, like because it's predictable, it's preventable. Not really. I mean, people are gonna go through shit no matter what, man. You know, but you know, hopefully, but like telling like weebs that they need to assess themselves before they come to Japan. I don't know. Let's finish the video before I finish my thought.
I went back to the States and studied Japanese hard. I spent almost all my free time on the JET program studying and practicing creative writing. And when I was doing student recruitment at APU, I would shoot YouTube videos after work and edit them during my lunch breaks in the cafeteria. Everyone I know here who's happy, who leads a fulfilling life, whether that's Chris Broad or Mr. Yabatan, or my friends who went on to become English professors, they did the same thing. They worked for it. They earned it. You can believe in Japan. It can be your light at the end of the tunnel. But if you want to bask in that light, if you want to truly enjoy it, then you're far better off working toward it than you are betting on the lottery.
Oh, wow. What a great and super vague fucking video. Like, come on. Hey, guys, did you ever think about if you really want something that you should work hard for it? Come on, Dogen. This is so fucking, like, I don't know. For me, it's like, okay, you got a problem. You suck with women. Read some fucking pickup artist stuff. What pickup artist stuff? Read some Neil Strauss, David D'Angelo. Start there. You know, put all that in and then come back to me. Oh, I want to learn Japanese. AJAT. Go to alljapaneseallthetime.com. Oh, I can't find it. Web archive. Figure that shit out. It's like I can give specific examples about how to help people. You just said, hey, man, do better. Work hard. Like, what fucking, you know, like, what is this? The moon landing? You know, it really happened. We had the technology. I'm not going to tell you what technology we had back then to broadcast that shit, but, you know, we did have it. It was real. I don't know, man. Like, it's just, like, when I hear super hyper successful people, because, like, it's not that I'm jealous. Like, he has stuff that, you know, like, I guess I would like-ish, but, like, I'm happy where I am right now. I'm content where I am right now. But one of the big reasons why is because I don't compare myself to other people. And if, like, I don't know, it's just like you can't, like, I saw Abroad Japan. It's like the first comment on this fucking video is, oh, hey, thanks for the follow, dude. The first comment on this video is, here, what does it say? It says, it's Abroad Japan. It says, it's easier to blame an amorphous Japan on your problems than it is to take responsibility for mistakes that didn't feel like mistakes at the time. Nailed it. Yeah, so what he's saying is that people that have fucked up lives that still live in Japan, that instead of fixing their lives, they blame Japan. You could have given examples. You could have given specific examples about it, but you didn't. You're just like, okay, let's be vague. Let's just say that the mods at Japan Life, our Japan Life, are existential crisis and watching this. Yeah, I mean, he could have easily called out Reddit. He could have been like, yeah, the guys on Reddit are delusional fucking idiots who are losers that never learn Japanese, and instead of doing something productive with their lives, they just complain about it and then they give other people bad advice about Japan. He could have said that, but instead he's like, you gotta work hard. You gotta work the shaft, cup the balls, you know, get that grade. I don't know, man. I hate vague shit like this. It just comes off, yeah, it feels disingenuous and pretentious coming from someone like him. Exactly, you know. Exactly. I couldn't have said it better myself, Live-ish. So, yeah, I don't know, man. It's just like Abroad Japan and Dogen, they were both Jets. I got rejected from Jet. They didn't like me because, you know, obvious reasons probably. But it's like you have to be a certain kind of person to be in a Jet. You already have to be really smart, but you also have to be on track, you know. They don't just let anybody in there. They want, it's like going into, like, for example, like one of my students, two of my students recently, because I teach what is it, international preschool sometimes, and one of the students that I teach at the like substitute school I teach at, like two of them applied for this very prestigious national elementary school in Japan, and I guess national elementary schools are more popular than private schools or something. It's very hard to get into that. One kid lives in it's not like a fucking poor place, but his parents make a moderate income and they live in like a moderate fucking condo building or whatever. And he got rejected from that school even though they have the same grades. And the other kid though, his dad is a doctor and his mom is a stay-at-home mom, but he lives in a giant fucking building on the 30th floor and they make a shit ton of money, and so that kid got approved to go to that school, but the other kid didn't. Even though they live in the, you know, like one lives, they both live in Tokyo, right? But one lives in a poor area, other one lives in a rich area. So they want to put their money on the rich kids because they're like, oh, well, they've already worked this hard. And so there's a predictability that they're not going to be like a wild card and fuck up. And even if they do, they can compensate us somehow, right? And so it's like with Dogen and Chris, they already came from like pretty good middle class, like I'm guessing upper middle class backgrounds and stuff. They were on the right track, you know, like even Dogen, like you saw the videos or the pictures of him, he was in really good shape. He was a good looking guy. To be like, I was a weeb, I'm like, yeah, you were a good looking weeb, you son of a bitch. You're not a fat stubby Danny DeVito weeb over here, you know? It's like, what is it? It's like, it's like you chose the weeb life. I was born into it, bathed in it, you know, like, I succumbed to its nature. But I don't know. I mean, the whole point is, it's just like, I don't mind the message behind the video, but could you be more vague? I mean, come on, man. Like, just say it how you want. Like, just say what you want to say, dude. Like, are you afraid that you're gonna get attacked by Reddit or something by like pointing out how fucking easy it is to become an English teacher loser that never learns Japanese and like make shit pay? Like most English teachers, they make like $12 an hour. You know, I make anywhere from $30 to $100 an hour. That's why I don't mind saying I'm an English teacher. Like, I'm an English teacher at least, like, what, like twice a week now? And still, like, I get paid well. And I love the job, and it's fun. So, I don't know, guys. Anyway, that's what I got to say about this video. What are your thoughts about this message in this video? Let me know in the comments down below. And speaking of a friend of mine who was in Jet, Rikai Suru just fucking subbed. Thank you, Rikai. You sexy man, you.
Get out, get motivated.
Yep, get up, get out, get motivated. Delete Facebook, hire a lawyer, hit the gym. That's what you gotta do. Anyway, you guys stay black. Otsukaresama deshita in Tokyo. And yeah, we'll talk to you guys later. Stay black. Yeah, buddy.
It's time you bit the bullet and started caring about something with all your heart and energy. But you can't care about it if you're always holding yourself back in case it doesn't work out.
Yeah, why y'all put cheese on my cheeseburger?
I'm sorry, what?
Shut your bitch ass